Hello, wonderful students. I'm at a doctor's appointment this morning, so that's why you're watching this video instead of having me there somewhat face-to-face, virtual face-to-face, right? So if you look down in the description, you will find the link to this presentation, and that is where you will find your attendance link. It's very important that you fill that out. Otherwise, you will be counted absent for class today. So go ahead and pause this video, fill out that attendance link, and then come back. Now that you've filled out the attendance link, the next thing you're going to do is review the germs, guns, and steel theory, which is in your notes that I gave you last week, the 3.2, 3.3 Maritime Empire. You were supposed to do this part over here for flex time. What you need to do is find this page right here. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Go ahead and find that in your notebook, and then we'll start breaking down the germs, guns, and steel theory. Now that you've found that in your notebook, let's talk about the first question. How does geography play a part in this theory? This is very important, and it's basically the basis of the theory. Dr. Jared Diamond talks about how in Eurasia, because it's on the similar lines of latitude and the geography would run east to west, they have the same day length, the same climate, and the same vegetation. So you want to put Eurasia, day length. Actually, we're going to put same day length, same climate, and same vegetation. And what that means is crops are going to be able to spread and grow in places all across Eurasia because of the fact that they have similar regions in which to grow. So crops and technology spread easy. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger like that. There we go. Now, what about over here in North and South America? How is that different? Well, when we travel from North America to South America, we don't stay on the same line of latitude. These are our lines of latitude right here. So if we have Native Americans that are living here, they're going to have different climate, different day length, different vegetation than, say, Native Americans that are living down here or even down here. They're not on the same line of latitude. And so his theory is that because they're not on the same line of latitude, whatever grows here may not grow here, or whatever grows here might not grow here. So vegetation, crops, technology did not spread as easily north to south as it did east to west. So up here, we're going to say, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, and I'm going to put Americas didn't spread as easily because it is north to south. I have to move this up a little bit more. North to south instead of east to west. And if this is bothering you, you can go up here and change the spacing. You can make it single space, and then we can say remove space after paragraph. There you go. So because it's spreading north to south, it would have different crops would grow in different places. It may not grow everywhere. That's what we'll put. So that's the first hindrance as to why crops and technology didn't spread in North and South America the way that it does in Eurasia. Oops, sorry. I need to just scroll over. Here, look at this map. Okay, so that's why. It's going to spread a lot easier in Eurasia because all across here, it's going to be similar. That's the very first part of the theory, and really the most important part. Let me know if you have any questions about that once we get done discussing this. All right, now what about writing? How did writing give Europeans an advantage? So if we go to that box, you can put something down about how in Europe they had paper and printing presses, which is going to enable them to produce books, which spreads the written word as well as spreading technology. So remember that paper and the printing press come from China, but it eventually make its way to Europe. And as a result, they can print books and spread info easier. Keep in mind that it's also spreading east to west, which is another reason that they have the advantage because it's easier to travel that direction. We know from the video that writing did exist in North and South America, so why didn't it give them the advantage? The biggest thing was, once again, the geography limited the spread. And they also didn't have the technology to print. So they're not communicating as easily as what the Europeans and the Asians are communicating. You can even see up here the geography as it gets so narrow right here in Central America and the Yucatan Peninsula. It would be very difficult, and you have to take into account the mountain ranges and things like that that are in between where the people live, and it just wasn't worth it to them to travel that direction. Not saying that none of them did, because some of them probably did, but it wasn't enough to spread information in the same way that it would spread over here in Eurasia. We also have, or the Europeans also have the advantage because of domesticated animals. So how do domesticated animals give Europeans the advantage? They give Europeans the advantage a couple ways. The first way is they give them immunity to diseases. That's probably one of the most important. Remember, the natives didn't have domesticated animals. Well, they had one, and it was the llama. But the problem with the llama is that it wasn't a beast of burden. We'll talk about that in a minute. So we'll say they didn't have domesticated animals that you could farm with. So the Native Americans aren't going to get immunity to disease, and that gives Europeans the advantage when they come and conquer. And the other advantage that they had is that because they have domesticated animals that are beasts of burden, that means like a cow or an ox can pull farming equipment, they were able to farm faster. So you're going to put something down with beast of burden, such as an ox. Europeans can farm faster, and that frees up people to go and do other things. Whereas the Native Americans are farming by hand. And if you need to pause this for a minute and get that down, you absolutely can do that. Now, the other thing that's going to give them advantage is horses. They're really good at horseback riding. So make yourself a little text box here. And I'm going to make this a little smaller. We're going to say that horses give Europeans the advantage in warfare. As well as steel weapons to fight with. And once again, if you need to pause, go for it. So all three of these things put together, germs, guns, and steel, give the Europeans the advantage that they need in order to basically run the world at the time. And all of that stems back to geography and this idea that things are spreading east to west easier, whereas they're not spreading north to south. And it gives the Americas less of the advantage. Then boil it down, it comes to domesticated animals, writing, all the little details of his theory. But it all starts with geography. If you have any questions about this, please come to office hours because I definitely want you to understand this theory. You'll be able to use it for some writing that we're going to be doing before Christmas break. After you're finished taking these notes, you're going to take a multiple choice and LEQ prompt quiz. It is a major grade, but don't worry because there will be retakes, so just do your best. It is on OnTrack. This is what you're doing during flex time. You have 20 minutes to take this quiz. And this is the code for it, or what you're going to be looking for when you get into OnTrack. If you have any problems accessing it, please let me know. And remember, you only have 20 minutes. So take it when you have 20-minute block time to be able to finish, and try not to stress about it. Just do your best. All right, guys, I will see you on Wednesday. Is that the next A-Day? I think it is. All right, I'll see you then. Have an awesome day.